How to you all, coaches, and welcome to my podcast, No Coaches, No Boxing. I am truly happy to have you all here listening because great news are on the way and are a bit heavier news. And you would say, Gabriele, why you are saying heavier news? Because the fights I'm gonna talk about today are in the heavyweight division and cruiserweight, especially the fights that are happening on July 11th in Moscow at the VTB Arena under the control of IBA Pro number 19. And listen to this, we have three very interesting fights. First, main event, of course, we have Murat Gashiev against Tony Yoka. Then we move to the cruiserweight, Murat Khalidov against Arslan Galliev, and co-main event in the heavyweight division, Artem Suzlenkov against the Juggernaut, Joy Joyce. As you can feel, will be already a great night with a lot of great fights. As always, we have to see that recently many good fights are happening under the IBA Pro events. So that's why it's absolutely worth it to mention all the fights, discuss them, analyze them, and see who will win. Now let's start talking about Murat Gashiev against Tony Yoka, the main event. Murat Gashiev, who is Murat Gashiev? The WBA heavyweight champion. So he's fighting to keep his belt on his hip. So let's do it. Bam! Fix it straight away. And Tony Yoka, who is Tony Yoka? We all know that he is the Rio Olympic gold medalist. So this is a very good fight, but stylistically, very different. We have to say that Murat Gashiev is a rock of 110 kilos, and his coach Kadushin keep him always around 104, 105 because beside the super destructive power, he wants him also to be a bit slick so he can move and be fast, and have very good endurance as a heavyweight. Now, Tony Yoka, of course, had a great success as an amateur, and we can expect, of course, technical highness. But we have to say that at the beginning of his professional career, he did struggle against insiders, okay? People that, of course, boxers that they come inside and they press, so they pressure a lot. Now, who is working? We mentioned Kadushin, who is working with Gashiev as a coach. Now, who is working with, at the moment, Tony Yoka? With Don Charles. And Don Charles is the one that that is, let's say, build up Daniel Dubois. Now, in the last 2 years, Don Charles spent a lot of time rebuild Tony Yoka's defense skills. Then, with that, we go into the, let's say, not prediction, because you know me, coaches, I don't like to use prediction, especially in boxing, and especially if we are talking about heavyweight boxing, as you know, one punch can truly change any kind of outcome that even during looking the fight, it might be completely unexpected, but hands are greatly heavy there. So very dangerous. All right, so we don't call it prediction, we call it technical analysis, okay, as in the book. Now, Tony Yoka is the taller boxer. So to get away, let's say, with the win, he should stay very disciplined and apply a correct technique, keeping his opponent, Gashiev, far away all the time, working with the jabs and straight punches, bam, 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 bam. But, this is written in the book. On the other side, we have Galliev, who is a pressure monster. So he will come and put a lot of pressure on Tony Yoka to test his newly rebuilt defense skills. And of course, if these skills will not keep the power of Murat Galliev, we will see the champ keeping the belt on his hips. All right. And now this is what I think about Murat Galliev against Tony Yoka WBA heavyweight title fight. And let's move now into the undercard. This time we have a cruiserweight fight, and this is an international interesting business going through two boxers whom they know very well each other. And I'm talking about Galliev and Galliev. They know very well each other. They train in the same circle. They have mutual friends. But now, for this fight, is strictly business, because many things are on stake. In fact, the winner, boom, will go to elite rankings, and the loser will fall down promotional shadow. So it's a very, very tough and strict business this time for these two boxers. And once again, I have to say that we have a similar situation like the main event, as we have Galliev with a 17 wins and 11 KOs and one loss, one only professional loss, and against who? Tony Yoka. This is interesting. Now, we know that Galliev has very fast hands. He likes heavy combinations, and he has good skills in moving, and also we can see from the KO's record that he has also heavy hands. That's why I said that he likes heavy combinations. Now, on the other side, we have Galliev. Now, Galliev is completely different. He's calculating, he's a pressure, he's determined, disciplined, and he doesn't lose focus once he's in the ring and he has a goal. Now, he already said that this fight is not going to last, meaning that his ultimate goal is to end it by KO. Now, we all know that all the boxers, especially in heavyweight, when they come in, that's the determination. But once again, no prediction, but fight analysis using the skills to give our outcome. So now, again, as I said before, we have a very similar fight with the main event. So we might see, this is an interesting thing that I encourage you to look for once watching the event IBA Pro 19. Compare the fights, because here we have, different opposition. Like we have in this case, Galliev has also very heavy hands, has 11 KOs over 17 wins, and that's not bad. But on the other side, Galliev is a real pressure machine, very focused, precise. He knows what he's going to do. Very interesting to see if, with these two similar skills in two fights, we will see, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, a complete different outcome, even while seeing the fights going only one direction. But then, boom, something might happen that would really upset anyone who had, let's say, a prediction. what I can predict 100% is that the fights will be great, will be real sport war where both the boxers will come in to give a great show, determined to keep their own, pride and go bam, go elevate themselves to the next level. So in the cruiserweight undercard, one fight not to be missed will be Khalidov against Galliev. And now let's talk about the co-main event of IBA Pro 19. Reminder for you all, happening the 11th of July in Moscow at the VTB Arena. Now we are talking about Suslenkov against the Juggernaut Joyce. Interesting fight as Suslenkov is number 9 in the WBA ranking. He is young, 30 years old. He's 14-0. We know on the other side that the Juggernaut is 40 years old and is coming from 4 losses, including the stoppages from Zhang and Yergovich. Now, this tells also, if we, as boxing analysts, come also as a very important information, because 2 big stoppages, you know how they interfere in the motivation and also confidence on the psychological approach the fighter has to the fight. So if the corner of Suslenkov is smart, they will consider that Joyce is coming from these 2, let's say, dramatic experience, because when you get knocked out, especially in heavyweight, where it's very, very, very dangerous, and something stays in that ring, and when comes repeatedly and consequently, is even worse. So I am pretty sure that Suslenkov corner is considering to use these informations and apply it in the tactical plan of the fight, considering also that Suslenkov is looking at Joyce, saying that he is 120 kilos, and he used this heaviness to put pressure and make you, let's say, tired. But he's also very slow and predictable. This is already, if you look at it, is exactly, the mindset of a younger boxer that really look at Joyce as an opportunity to step up in the WBA ranking and maybe have an opportunity to fight Gashiev for a world title. But at the same time, Gashiev will have to retain his WBA title against Tony Yoka. To have this, of course, happening as Suslenkov is thinking. Now, let's go once again to think if Suslenkov will keep his game plan and Joyce will not manage to let's say, establish distance, keeping Suslenkov not coming in and not put him in dangerous position, Suslenkov will happen to, let's say, unveil the lack of mobility of Joyce and probably go for a knockout. And I want to again highlight the situation of the 2 latest knockouts from Zhang and Yergovich, because already is there. And when, unfortunately, psychologically, a boxer went through that, and at this age, when it's not anymore a fresh boxer who's still hungry and wants to do many, many, many great things, this is already end of career. I am sorry the juggernaut, you were great. And it's not about, of course, this is a pure analysis of the fact, nothing personal. But when you are going through this, it's very difficult also to recognize a punch that might be that heavy or not. The boxers experts knows what I'm telling. And so probably then going down without even realizing, just because, to explain for everyone, like just a reflex that we have in mind because of bad experiences happen very recently and consequently. So that punch played professionally and precisely, even if not too strong, it might create a resemblance in us, and the movement also is going down, might be because of it. And that's all because of psychology. So, many things are here very interesting in this fight. And we will see if the youth and determination and hunger of Suslenkov will go through the juggernauts and then create a real possibility to a WBA heavyweight championship title. Here we are, and that's all for IBA Pro 19 from No Coaches, No Boxing. Your host, Gabriele Martelli, as always, and I'll see you into the next. Boom! Nailed it.